She's there to receive. That's why she likes to be provided for, right? The men who don't like that make gold digger videos and make fun of her for doing the things that's in her nature. She ain't like me for me. She ain't like me for me. She's not supposed to like you for you, because that goes against evolution. She's supposed to like you for what you are able to make out of yourself. See? Get that. She is supposed to like you for what you are able to make out of yourself. And what you are able to make out of yourself is going to directly determine what you are able to give to her. And she's a nest builder. So she wants to be given to, because she has been made physically. If you just use your eyes and look at her body is made to receive. All right, so we're gonna talk about a little bit about nature and nature versus evolution. How these things affect all of us. There's a group of people who hate women, and they hate a woman's nature. They don't just hate women, but they hate nature and a woman's nature. They also hate a man's nature. And so we could just say that they hate nature altogether. There's a group of people who really hate nature. But how could you hate nature when nature is evolution? Mother Nature, right, is evolution. Evolution means that your child grows up to want the best mate that they can find. The best, and this isn't just for people, this is for animals. Animals grow up to want the best mate that they can find. And as a result of finding the best that they can get, what do? They end up having a better baby. The baby becomes better that they have than their generation. And every generation gets a little bit better, a little bit smarter, a little bit faster. Every generation gets a little bit better than the previous generation. Now, if we go against evolution, then we wouldn't care if we chose our husband, wife, boyfriends, whoever we have children with. It wouldn't matter to us whether or not we get the absolute best we can, because we wouldn't be thinking about our children. We would just be thinking about ourselves, or we wouldn't even think about ourselves. We would just not care, right? But there's something innate within us, which is nature, that makes us want the absolute best that we can get, both men and women. That's what we want. So getting the best that we can get, a woman being able to get the strongest, smartest, best man that she can get, is in her nature. A man being able to get the most beautiful, most submissive, most feminine woman that he can get, that makes him happy, that makes him inspired. That's the one he wants, who has the best body. Men are visual. They use their eyes. They rely on their eyes more. The woman, it uses her ears more. She uses other senses a lot more. She uses her emotions and how she feels more to pick if he's the right one. Okay, so we all have our different ways of going about it, right? But we all go about it in the same way when it comes to getting the best. We both want the best that we can get. We want the best for our children. We want our children to choose the best mate possible. We don't like when our children choose somebody that we don't feel is right for them, right? So we even help our own family members choose, our own friends. We help them choose. And we always are choosing the best for us, okay? So, because that's what nature requires. But there's, like I said, there's a group of people who are completely against evolution. There's a group of people who are completely against nature, Mother Nature. And they teach us that we are not part of nature. And it's an insult to be a part of nature. Okay? They teach us that it's an insult. They call you an animal. They called him an animal. And who do they associate with animals? So-called black people, right? Because they're the ones always getting offended that somebody called them an animal, a savage, a barbarian, someone who's close to nature, right? This is all of these quote unquote insults go along with being a part of the animal kingdom in nature, because the people who hate nature have taught us, who are also control the media, have taught us that nature is not good and following your nature is a bad thing. And a man's nature is evil and a woman's nature is evil. This is what they teach us. But what they don't teach us is that, right, evolution is nature. Okay. So why would they want to fight evolution, right? Who are these people who are in such control that they don't like evolution? And how do we know they don't like evolution? Because they demonize nature. They demonize a man's nature. They demonize a woman's nature. And the ultimate goal of these people who hate nature, right? Because if you're going to demonize evolution, right? And you're going to demonize a man's nature and make everything that's in a man's nature bad, make everything that's in a woman's nature bad, then you're trying to get us to go the opposite against evolution. And if we're going the opposite against evolution, that means we no longer are picking the best for our children. We are no longer picking the best for ourselves. We are no longer thinking about how to improve ourselves as a species. Animals who we're not supposed to be a part of, they do this instinctively. We do it instinctively, but we're the group of people who can get talked out of doing the things that have taken millions of years for evolution to perfect. And then we'll decide that we don't want to do that no more. And it's just in this past few generations, right? In this past few generations, we've decided that we don't want to go along with nature. We don't want to go along with evolution. We want to start over and we want to go contrary to nature. We want to do things contrary. Okay. So what could I possibly mean by all this? Okay. So before I get into what I break it really break it down for you, you know, the people who hate nature, the people who hate evolution. Okay. And we'll get into who these people are later, but the people who hate nature, the people who hate a man's nature, who hate a woman's nature, who associate nature with insults, okay? They have a goal, and it's to make the weakest group of people into the strongest. And it's to make the strongest group of people into the weakest. Because the group of people who hate nature were the weaker group of people. But that doesn't mean just because they're weak, they don't want power, right? Just because you're weak doesn't mean you don't want power. It just means it's harder for you to get power, or you have to go about getting your power in a different kind of way. But the weak group of the little skinny guy who's short who wears broken glasses and dresses bad, he's just as attracted to the most beautiful woman as the big, strong football player. He's just as attracted, right? But there's a difference is he can't get her. And why can't he get her? Because she don't want. Women do not like, on average, short men. This is just a fact. Women like to look up to their man. They like to feel protected. They don't feel protected when they have somebody they're bigger than who and they're skinny and he don't go to the gym. They're not attracted to that. Right? Are there some women who are attracted to this man? Yes. Right? There's somebody for everybody. Right? There's somebody for everybody. But what I'm saying is that there's a hierarchy when it comes to people. And this isn't just it, whether you like it or not, and whether you agree with the hierarchy or you disagree with it, there's one that exists and you just might as well get over it. It exists. And your job is to get the best you can out of the hierarchy that exists. If you're a 5, then get you a 6. If you're a 7, get you an 8 and move it up generation by generation. If you're a 9, you're trying to get a 10. 10s are going to equally get a 10. They're not going down unless they feel like they have to. Okay? Because that's evolution. Evolution teaches you to get the best that you can. When we have races at the Olympics, we don't watch the fastest people. They don't compete against the slow people. They compete against people who are on their level. It would make absolutely no sense for an Olympian to practice with a high school kid who's not an Olympian, who's fresh out of high school. He's not going to be able to push himself like he would if he was to practice with the people who are equally Olympians. This is how he's going to get better, by practicing with people of his caliber, right? And what's the goal at the Olympics? To win the medal. What's the goal of your legacy that you're going to leave? To make it better than you were. Okay? See, this is evolution. But like I said, even the weak people like power, and they found out some ways to start mind controlling people to get power, while the powerful people end up losing. Okay? So the point of what they're really trying to do and how they figured out how to mind control people, right? Their ultimate goal is to make the weakest the strongest, which is the complete opposite of nature. They want us to go backwards on evolution. Now, how could they do that? And how can you prove what I'm saying? Well, we've been lately, and this just started because we didn't always do this. And to the people who are young, who've just seen this their whole life, it might seem like it's always been like this, right? Because you didn't grow up in a time when it wasn't like this. See? But to some of us who are older and remember, right? To some of us who was born in the 70s and 80s, see, we remember, right? To those who was born in the 50s and 60s, they really remember, right? But it wasn't always like this. And everything done changed dramatically in the last 20, 30 years, especially. Okay? Because right now, we teach our women to be men. And we teach our men to be women. What do I mean by that? We teach the traditional traits that are associated with being a man are being taught to women. And they're not just being taught, they're being taught throughout the media. Oh, well, we're equal. What do you mean? We're not equal, and we can't be equal. And I did a whole video about it if you'd like to talk about that, because we ain't gonna get into that right now on this video. But it's called the trick of equality, because equality is a big trick. It's a big mind control game. We never want it to be equal. We want it to be treated equal. But if you want to have that conversation, go watch that video, because we're not going to do that here. We glorify everything, all the men's traits, and we demonize all of the women's traits. Because like I said, there's a group of people who really do not like women, and they don't like nature. They don't like women. They don't like nature. They hate Mother Nature. Okay. So what's in a woman's nature? What is a woman's nature? And what's so bad about a woman's nature? Well, there's nothing bad about a woman's nature. A woman is naturally born to be a certain way. They have certain instincts that have evolved over millions and billions of years. Okay? They have evolved into being who they are. Just like the lioness sits back and watches the two lions go at it. She don't go with the loser. She goes with the winner. Okay? Why? Because she wants her kids to be the strongest, to have those strong genes. Why? Because that's how they're going to eat better. That's how they're going to hunt better. That's how they're going to prosper. Right? That's how they're going to prosper. Same thing with the gazelles. Same thing with the zebras. Same thing with the monkeys. Same thing with all of nature. All of the animals in nature. But we don't think we're animals. See? Because we're against nature. And it's an insult to be called an animal. Right? To those who hate nature. Because to me, that's not an insult. I'm happy to be an animal. I know I'm an animal. Am I the same kind of animal? No, because I'm different. I don't have big claws, and I'm not like a monkey who can bench 2,000 pounds, right? I can't do what a monkey can do. I can't swing from trees to trees, but my brain is more elevated. See, that's my special weapon, right? A lion has the sharp teeth and strength that I can't imagine. It can run 40 miles an hour. I can't run that fast. The fastest person can't run close to that fast, right? So we all have our strengths in the animal kingdom, and our minds have made it to where we have dominated the animal kingdom to the point where some people like to try to tell you that you're not even part of it anymore. But you are part of it. You are part of it. A woman's nature is to receive. All you have to do to know that is to look at her body and look at a man's body and look at who gives. How'd you get here? Well, your daddy, and everybody got one, and your mama liked each other, hopefully. Whether they liked each other or not, they had sex, and the man gave her a piece of him, and she received him. It's in her nature. Her body is built to receive. Right? So when we don't sit up here and give a woman what her nature is, because we listen to the rappers, and the rappers tell us that we tricks, and we listen to the pimps, and we listen to all the people we're not supposed to be listening to as a nation of people who's trying to get their stuff together. Okay? Now, I ain't saying nothing's wrong with none of this stuff. Look, I like music. I grew up on all this. I like the culture. I understand how gripping it is on us. But I also see who's behind it and how they playing us and how we don't see the game that's getting played on us. And so we just got to call a spade a spade. And that's what we're going to do in this video. Okay? That's all we're going to do. A woman has a nature. She's there to receive. That's why she likes to be provided for. Right? The men who don't like that make gold digger videos and make fun of her for doing the things that's in her nature. She ain't like me for me. She ain't like me for me. She's not supposed to like you for you, because that goes against evolution. She's supposed to like you for what you are able to make out of yourself. See? Get that. She is supposed to like you for what you are able to make out of yourself. And what you are able to make out of yourself is going to directly determine what you are able to give to her. And she's a nest builder. So she wants to be given to, because she has been made physically. If you just use your eyes and look at her body is made to receive. Not just when you want to lay down with her. She's made to receive. She receives the life force that you give her and makes a baby out of that life force that's inside of you. You have to give her that life force. She can't just go get it on her own. Well, I guess now she can just go get it on her own because the people who hate nature done make laboratories to where she don't even need you no more to get that life force, right? She'll pay somebody, they'll pay somebody to go to the bathroom and throw that life force in the test tube, put it in the freezer and come give it to somebody later, right? We don't need you for that anymore. But even though it still comes from you, you still got to give it to somebody, whether you're giving it to her directly or whether you go to the laboratory, it comes out of you and you got to give it. You got to give up your life force. She's still going to be the receiver. She's always going to be the receiver. Period. No matter how she receives it, she's still receiving it. Because that's her. That's what she does. She's a receiver. She wants to receive the most she can get. How come? Because what would she want if she's a 10? Because everybody want to run around talking about high value men and because they hate women. If there's a high value man, then that means that there's a high value woman. Because who do the high value men get? Well, if the man is a 10, well, he should go get him a 10. And if he's high value for being a 10, then she should be high value for being a 10 as well. So you're both high value. They call it being, the old people used to call it being equally yoked. Okay. So he's a 10 and she's a 10. They both got with each other. Everybody's happy. Okay. She's going to want to be provided for like she's a 10. She's going to want to be provided for like she's a 10. Yeah, but she should love me for me. She does love you for you. She loves you for what you can do for her and how you made yourself into a 10. You don't have to start out as a 10 to become a 10. Okay? Because it's not measured off of good looks no more. It's measured off your money. Even though that shouldn't be, but we're not getting into that because that's a whole nother video. Which I already made another video about how money ain't even important. It don't matter anyway, but we're not getting into that. Like I said, what's a woman's nature? A woman's nature is to nest. Why do you think all the rich people, all the rich men who out here building these houses? Because I ain't seen too many women on I haven't seen too many women on the construction crew. When I go pass by a construction crew, you don't see too many women building no houses. You don't see too many women installing the electricity. You don't see too many women installing the plumbing. I ain't never called up to get the plumbing fixed and a woman show up, And I'm not saying there's no women plumbers. I'm just saying you're going to be hard pressed to find a woman plumber come over with looking like a 10. You ain't going to find no women plumbers looking like Halle Berry. I don't think you're going to do that. I know you're not going to do that. I don't care what TV commercial you show me or what Hollywood say and how everybody's the same. I don't believe that. A woman's nature is to nest. She wants to build the biggest home, and she don't need to build it herself. Why? Because she has the woman persuasion, and she can make a man using her emotions, using the things that she has got, right? She can use what she got to get what she wants, and she's been doing this for millions of years. And she get the man to build her a nest. And what's our nest? A house, right? A house. Who's the best men out there? The ones who got the biggest houses, right? That's how we measure it. So-and-so celebrity, he just bought him a $20 million house. Oh, this celebrity just bought a $100 million house. So-and-so has, right? We base our society and your level of making it on the types of houses you have, on the types of cars that you have, on the types of clothes that you have. All of this symbolizes your success. And all of these things is what a woman wants because what? Because she's, it ain't no different from a bird. A bird wants the best nest too. It's not just people. right? The lioness wants the biggest square mile area that her man will get for her and protect for her. Okay? This is just the way it is. This is the way it works. Right? Out of all the gorillas, the ones who eat the best are the strongest ones. The ones with the tribes that are the strongest. Right? They got this whole thing mapped out. The bears that eat the best are the ones who have the best terrain. And how do you get the best terrain? Because you got to kick the biggest bear off of the best terrain. So when he gets old, he ends up losing it to who? To the next best one. Right? Because he done got too old. He can't win that fight no more. Now he loses his best terrain, has to go look for something else. Okay? This is just the circle of life. The circle of life. Okay? Evolution. Nature. A woman is a nest builder. Okay? It's her nature to build a nest. She wants her man to build her a nest. And that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Is she a gold digger for wanting what a woman wants? No. Because this is what if it is, then so what? Then start making that a good thing. Because this is in a woman's nature, is to nest. And she wants to have the prettiest nest, period. Just get over it, man. Get over it, man. Make yourself a 10 and stop crying about how the 10s don't want the 5s, because they're never going to want the 5s. Okay? They're not. Unless the 5s start running the world. And if the 5s start running the world and the 10s, we going backwards in evolution. And this is what they're really trying to do. A woman is happy when she's serving. A woman wants to serve. That's why she's such a good caregiver. Right? That's why she's such a good nurse when she's a nurse. That's why she's such a good... Now, can men have good nursing qualities? Yes, they can. That just because a man can do something don't mean that, that you the best at it. Okay? That don't mean you the best at it. Just because you can do something. A woman can fight. But there's certain fighters that a woman is just not ever gonna beat. Period. A woman is not going to walk into the heavyweight championship fight and beat the heavyweight champion. It's not going to happen. Period. She's not going to do that. That's why they have women UFC and men's UFC. Period. A woman is happy when she's serving because it's in her nature to serve. It's in her nature to care for. It's in her nature to grow. It's in her nature to receive something and make it better. She receives your life force and turns it into a baby. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. She can take a liquid and turn it into you, into your legacy. She can take a liquid sperm that we can't even see and turn it into you. It's because your mama did this that you can listen to this video in the first place. She's the master of emotion. She knows how to calm us when we need to be calmed. She knows how to uplift us when we need to be uplifted. She knows how to motivate us to when we need to be motivated. She knows how to get us to build for her. She knows how to get us to fight each other. She knows how to get us to emotionally do all of the things that a woman can do because she's got emotional powers. She has power over her emotions. Emotions are a game to her. Emotions are nothing to a woman. They're easy for a woman. Whereas a man, it's hard for a man to even be emotional. And when he does, he gets looked down on. Because it's not in his nature. This isn't his nature. That's not, just because he can have emotions doesn't mean that he's the master of emotions. Right? Again, just because you can do something and you are part of something doesn't mean that you're the master of it. Some people are better at it than other people. That's how come we not. I'm not about to get into that. She's the master of emotions. She can use her emotions for good or for bad. She can manipulate your emotions for good or for bad. So just because she's good at something or just because she's the master of certain things doesn't mean she always uses them for the good, right? Because she can also use them for the bad. I know a lot of women who know how to manipulate men. They know how to manipulate men. They know how to drive men crazy. They know how to make men fight each other. They like watching the fight. I mean, I'm just saying this is what some of them do. Not all of them, no. Some of them do that. But it's in a woman's nature to make the world a better place. It's in the woman's nature to make things better. To receive something and make it into something better. It's in a man's nature to give a woman something that he wants to make better. That's in a woman's nature. This is what she's good at. And why we don't respect that nature and why we look down on that nature and why we act like, oh, the man, he does this. The man, he does that. The man. Okay, great. You see value in yourself. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. Good for you. Good for you. You're supposed to see the value in yourself. But see, it's awful selfish when you only see the value in yourself and you don't see the value in your woman, because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman. First of all, if what I'm telling you ain't true, you would never even be here, because she had to take the liquid inside of your body and turn it into you. Like how, just that alone. And anybody who said they didn't come from a woman who's got a belly button is a lie, because that's the evidence right there. That's your proof. But feminism came around, okay? And these things that I'm talking about apply. I'm talking about so-called, when I say the woman's nature, I'm talking about so-called black women. Because there's other groups of women who have less nature in them. Okay. See, and that's a whole nother topic. But the one who has all of the nature in her, the one who carries all the spectrums of life, the one who can make a so-called white man come out of her, the one who can make a Chinese man come out of her, the one who can make a Hindu come out of her, the one who can make a Mexican come out of her, the one who can make a Cuban come out of her, the one who can make any race of people in the entire globe can come out of her womb. She can make somebody with blue eyes come out of her. She can make somebody with green eyes come out of her. She can make somebody with every single aspect of life come out of her. And we can't say that for nobody except for the so-called black woman. And so there must be a difference between so-called black women and other women. Why? Does this make them better than everybody? That's not what we talking about, see? Because all y'all like to do is run around talking about, oh, well, see, he not equal again. He's not better. He think he better than somebody. This ain't got nothing to do with equality. Equality ain't got nothing to do with it. We do not have the same fingerprint. Nobody's the same. Period. Nobody's the same. That means nobody's equal. Okay? We're not about to get into that video. Like I said, if you want to talk about that, there's a video for that. Go watch it. When we know where so-called white people really come from, when we know where so-called Chinese people really come from, when we know where so-called Koreans, Mexicans, Filipinos, Arabs, okay, and I can just go down the list of entire groups of people of the world all come from the so-called black woman, okay? So she's different. She has to be different. Because a white man and a white woman cannot make a so-called black woman, period. But two black people can make a white man. Because all the white people came from black. I don't care what they little white supremacy groups say. It's a fact that all people come from the black woman, period. So when I'm talking about nature, I'm talking about the black woman. And when I say a black woman has a certain type of nature, I'm talking about the black woman. And when I say that other groups of women don't share her nature, then we can look, because feminism didn't come from so-called black women. So-called black women had to get sold into feminism. They had to get tricked into feminism. They had to get corralled into, they had to have painful things happen to them and be manipulated into feminism. That's how they got there. They got there out of pain, right? They got there out of pain. They got there out of things happening to them, negative things happening to them. They didn't get there because they wanted to be there. They didn't start that. Feminism came from a white woman. It just did. All you gotta do is look it up. The ones who are the feminists, they happy to tell you who it all comes from. What, no so-called black people, black women talking about being no feminists? Because it's not in their nature. The black woman, it's in her nature to do all the things that I'm talking about. And that don't mean that other women don't have this in their nature, because they do. It's just some of them don't. Some of them don't, but all so-called black women have this in their nature. And when we know where all people come from, then it start making sense. When we know our true history and how everybody got on this planet, then everything start making real sense. Okay, but that, like I said, that's a whole nother video within itself. Women make the world a beautiful place. Men might build the houses, but the woman makes it a home. She designs it. She makes it beautiful. She might not hook up the plumbing. She might not hook up the electricity, right? But she's the one who designs that bed to make it beautiful and make it to where you want to live it on. The man just built the space for it. She do the rest. She do the rest. The man builds all these cars. Why? So he can drive his woman around and make her, because she like, she like that. He know what she like. He know what she likes. So he does what she likes, because that's his nature. But then we get talked out of doing what she likes. And then we start having problems. We stop providing for her. And sometimes it's not by choice. Sometimes, right, it's because of the politics that's going on that we don't know the games that are getting played with so-called black people, because they're so hidden and they're so slick about how they play their games with us nowadays. Okay? But the Klan didn't just disappear. The Klan wasn't listening to Martin Luther King on his speech having a dream. They wasn't out there listening and just said, oh, you know what? These black folks ain't that bad after all. That's not how it happened. They didn't just start liking black people because Martin Luther King had a dream. I don't know where people think these people actually just did. What, they just disappeared? They just gave up all their political control? They were 100% of the Congress at one point in time, and we know that because they openly let everybody know that, and now they just gave up all that because Martin Luther King had a dream. Come on. Y'all foolish to believe that. So-called black women got tricked into joining the cause of the feminists. So-called black women got tricked into joining the cause of the gay community. They've been used as a pawn, and they use their numbers to influence the vote, the politics. So-called black women want to be provided for, okay? But we run around making these gold digger videos and start demonizing her nature. So what happens as we start demonizing her nature? Then what women don't like being, they start feeling bad. They get in their emotions. Now they don't want to be called out as the gold digger. So what do? They start lowering their standards. And as they lower their standards, and see, that's what the Kevin Samuels is all about. Basically convincing women to lower their standards. Women ain't supposed to lower their standards. Men are supposed to raise their standard to catch up to the woman. It's not the other way around. Because the other way around means that she's looking for the loser instead of the winner. The woman is supposed to look for the winner. She's supposed to get the top dog. She's not supposed to get the one who made her feel bad. She's not supposed to get the surprise. Oh, look, I'm going to pretend like I'm nobody and then pull up in a Lamborghini on you. And now you see I'm somebody, but I don't want you no more because now you want me. Like, I don't know where this psychology came from, or, well, it comes from demonizing a woman's nature. Demonizing a woman's nature and tricking the men into not liking the people who weren't there for him as he was making himself better. See, because they want to make us feel like we're supposed to still have it all, even though we at the bottom. No, because that's anti-evolution. You're not supposed to have it all. You're supposed to work for it. You're supposed to get it. You're supposed to sit up here and go through the blood, sweat, and tears of building yourself up into the man that you want to be, to where, no, you couldn't get that dime piece at first. Why? Because you wasn't worthy of her yet. And now that you are worthy of her, you better be happy you got her and hold on to her while you still the man. And realize that one day, just like the mighty lion, who's the king of the jungle, you're going to get old too, and you're going to lose your crown to the next generation. And you're supposed to lose your crown to the next generation, because if you want your people to be better than you got to pass the legacy on. Like, we don't think about legacies. We're so selfish and worried about us that we don't understand we got a nation, and everybody out here is nation building except for so-called black people. Everybody's nation building. Everybody's taking care of what's theirs except for so-called black people. And not I shouldn't say that, black Americans, right? Because the Africans are not like us. They've been mind controlled too, but not like us. Not like us. They still provide and protect. They don't make songs saying you're a trick if you provide and protect. They got 4 wives. And they don't have all these cheating problems and not providing. They got their own land. So we're not about to get into that either, because that's a whole nother video. Right? But this is who have the people we are today are the result of evolution. That's the result of evolution. There's a reason why we're not sitting up here having babies. We're not taking, I'm not even going to get into that. If the lion was to sit up here and do what modern people are doing and think that, oh, okay, well, it's bad to, if the lionesses were like, it's bad to want the strongest lion because I don't want him for him, then the weaker lion is going to start getting the top lionesses. And as a result of the weaker lions getting the top lionesses, what's going to happen? Now the lionesses aren't going to be as well protected. They're not going to be able to maintain the square mileage of land that has the best resources. They're not going to be able to maintain it. Because why? Because another species is going to come that they used to have under their thumb. But since the weak lions are now in charge and the big strong ones are gone, now they can't protect themselves against the hyenas no more. Now everybody's stealing their food. Every time they make a kill, the lionesses is out there making a kill. They finally get it. And then everybody comes to steal their food, because that's what happens in the jungle. Everybody come to steal it. And the women can't protect it. Why? Because that's the lion's job. The big lion, the male lion, that's his job, is to protect. Everybody run away when they see him. Everybody run away. Ain't nobody stealing the food when he around. Right? So if the lionesses said, oh yeah, we're I like him for him. Let's make this like this, like a movie, like the movies. We like him for him. We don't want the strongest lion no more. Cause he's just so we gotta like him for him. We don't care if he's the strongest. No, you hurting your children when you think like that. You're not thinking about your legacy. You're not thinking about your nation. And for y'all men that getting offended because a woman sitting up here wants the best nest, then you hurting your children too. And this is just absolutely the most ridiculous thing that somebody got to sit up here and break down to y'all, because so many of y'all are sitting up here falling for it. Okay? There's a reason why the woman lion, the lioness, wants the strongest man in the jungle. There's a reason why she wants the strongest lion, because she wants her children to have his genes. She wants her children to be the strongest. She wants her children to be able to defend themselves against the other species in the jungle, like the hyenas, who's coming to try to take her and punk her all the time, every time she's out there trying to get what's hers. Feed and help feed the family, okay? There's the different groups of people, and we're not the same because we're very different. Okay? We're very different. And we got to start accepting people's differences instead of trying to be equal. And we got to notice the differences in the groups of people. The yin is not complete without the yang. And there's a little bit of yin in the yang. And there's a little bit of yang in the yin. But 90% of the yin is the yin. And only 10%, that little dot in the middle of it, only a small piece of it is the yang. So yes, there's a man's nature is in a woman. A woman's nature is in a man. But those two dots on both sides of it, the man's nature and the woman's nature, is supposed to just be a little bit of it, right? Because you don't want a man who's always hard. He's got to be able to express himself too sometimes. That don't mean he dominates. That just means he got a little drop of a drop. He got 10% yang in him, or 10% yin in him. And the woman, she got 10% yang in her. Okay? But we need both. We need both the yin and the yang to make the complete circle. You don't have the complete circle without both of those. And that's part of the symbolism in that meaning. We need both to the yin and the yang, the woman and the man, okay? To be the best they can be in order to provide, in order to prosper and survive, in order to look out for our legacies, okay? And like I said, there's a group of people who do not like nature, and they're out to destroy nature. And they're a weak group of people. And they need the weak to survive and dominate the strong. And the strong are going to have to start manning up. And the women going to have to start seeing what's going on and stop being manipulated. Because the men are getting subdued by this weaker group of men who don't like nature. And you got to start calling the sides out. If somebody's against nature, they not on your side, so-called black woman or so-called black man, because you are nature. That's why you can pick up the dirt and put it on your skin and it looks like you. You are nature. So you got to start realizing who you are. You got to realize who you are. We can only destroy ourselves from within. There's a group of people who hate nature and they hate so-called black people, and they didn't just disappear. We know who they are. And they at war with you. And you can't let them sit up there and manipulate them, because they not just out there pulling guns in your face. They not at war like that with you. See? They at war in a silent, undercover, slick way. And you don't know what's happening to you, but you about to learn. You about to learn. Love your nature. Love who you are. Love your nation and love your people. Every time you look at another so-called Black American, that is your nation. I don't care if it's your child, if it's not your child, if it's your, I don't care who it is. That is your nation. It's time for us to start looking at each other as members of our nation. Nation. All right, nation. Peace and love.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.